All right, welcome back. So today we're looking at an outline for a video report on Beyond Meat, ticker BYND.
Yeah, and it's all about this huge gap between the current price, what, $1 something, and these analyst targets up at almost $7.
It's a massive high-risk story, and the structure of the piece really needs to reflect that tension from the get-go.
I think the first big thing is you have to integrate the market's strong sell view right into the bull case itself. That's what's going to create the narrative tension here.
Right, because right now the bull points, the turnaround, the short squeeze potential, they're just sort of listed out.
Exactly. They feel like isolated facts.
And the weakness there is that it doesn't feel like a fight. You know, it's not a direct rebuttal to this overwhelming negative sentiment.
So the suggestion is pretty straightforward, really. You need to frame every single bull point as a direct answer to a specific risk the bears are focused on.
Yeah, so it stops being a list and starts being a counter-argument.
For example, don't just say, here's the turnaround plan. Instead, you could frame it as, here's how management's push for operational efficiency is their only real weapon against the high debt and the cash burn that's driving that sell rating.
That's much more compelling.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of compelling, that big number, the 690 price target, that's the hook, right? But it feels a bit untethered at the moment.
Totally. And to really make that title work, those ultra-bull targets have got to be anchored to a specific fundamental belief. You can't just throw the number out there.
Yeah, the weakness is you're featuring this, 563% potential upside, but you never really say why an analyst would land on that exact number.
It just feels speculative otherwise, like you pulled it out of a hat, which for this kind of audience is a non-starter.
Right, so the fix is to directly connect that highest price target to the most ambitious projection you have in the report. That connection is everything for credibility.
That's the key. So for bull point number 3, you could explicitly say something like, look, that 690 target, it hinges entirely on a single massive bet. That the whole plant-based meat category recovers.
Exactly.
And that BYND's revenue starts growing again by, say, late 2025, which would cement them as the dominant brand. That's the story that justifies the price.
Okay, so last point, and this is a little counterintuitive, but it's about tone and style. I think digging deeper into the risks with really specific, high-impact details will actually make the whole bull case stronger.
I completely agree. The risk section right now it's a bit generic.
Burning cash, significant debt. I mean, anyone following the stock closely already knows that.
Right. An expert audience is just going to gloss over that. So you have to show the real, quantifiable pain to prove you're not just a cheerleader.
You need to hit them with the actual consequences. What has this debt and cash burn actually cost the company and its investors?
Yeah, like you should explicitly mention the shareholder dilution. Talk about the recent debt for equity swap. That's a real concrete consequence.
Exactly. And also, you should spell out the bears' specific bet. They aren't just worried, they're actively betting that the turnaround plan fails.
And that revenue will keep falling. By acknowledging those really specific painful points, your eventual counter-argument suddenly has so much more weight.
So just to recap, the 3 big takeaways from making this video really hit home.
Yep.
First, you've got to weave that strong sell consensus right into your bull points to build that narrative tension. Make it a debate.
Second, anchor that big 690 price target to a very specific, ambitious projection. Give it a foundation.
And finally, don't be afraid to get specific and gritty in the risk section. Mentioning things like the shareholder dilution actually builds your credibility.
Exactly. It shows you've done the work and aren't afraid of the bear case.
Nail those 3 things, and this outline will be fantastic. We'd love for you to make those changes and send it back to us for another look.